Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody on the call here. We have a great audience for this partner package solution, the Mythbuster. We're going to be talking about Bramasol's partner package solution, telling you a little bit about what it is, what it does, and then kind of breaking a few myths out there about SAP and the cloud space. And I have here my friend and colleague and a senior member of our marketing team, Jim Hunt, is going to kind of, go back and forth in sort of a fireside chat. So, Jim, welcome.
Thank you, John. Great to be here.
And almost happy Thanksgiving to those of you who are celebrating. It's great to be here with you. Thank you for joining us. We just welcomed all of you. I see there's a great audience from a disparate number of people. So we'll try and address all your questions. I introduced Jim, and Jim and I are kind of old pros. I guess we've done this about 50 plus times, Jim. So let's see how that works.
Over 100, John.
Yeah, over 100 in total, yeah. And then we'll talk a bit about what is a QPPS, what is our QPPS. And then we're going to do a little bit of myth busting, have a little fun with that, and then wrap up. So this is a fireside chat. This is meant to be a little bit, while it's serious, it's also light. So feel free to ask questions about the QPPS itself, or any of the ideas that come up, or share your own perspective. Love to have you do that. And of course, with that, of course, we are recording the session. So if you enjoy it or you have other colleagues who could not make this, we are recording it. So feel free to share it with others. Again, as I said, feel free to make comments, questions. We are here for you. We love to answer your questions, love to get your thoughts as well. And then I'll encourage you to check out our other webinars. We just mentioned we've done probably closing in on almost 150 to 200 now, Jim, I think. So you can check those out. We have a beautiful new solution over on the bramasol.com site, a way for you to sort through those many pieces of content that we have out there. So check that out. You can also visit us on Facebook. I think we still have the Insight to Action up there for Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio. LinkedIn, we have our own page, and feel free, we post several times a day, and would love to have your comments. And then finally, as I mentioned, YouTube, we are continuing to add new content weekly to that space on all sort of subjects, whether it's revenue recognition, ERP, quote to cash to compliance, lots of really great content, and not just our content, but things we've done with customers, with SAP. So I encourage you to go check that out.
Okay, so John, can you kind of give us an overview of the package solution?
Yeah, let me do that, Jim. And let me before we dive into what is the package solution, why did we come up with a package solution in the first place? For three basic reasons. Number one is you asked for it, not you, Jim, but the audience. People asked for it. We had a lot of interactions with customers, and customers said, gee, it'd be really great if we had a way to understand a package solution that I know what I'm getting from SAP, and one that is not overly expensive, that takes forever, and we'll talk about that. SAP, we've been partnering with them, and from a development perspective, we came up with this partner package solution, working with the industry teams and the solution teams. So this is really the culmination of a long variety of activity. I apologize, I don't know what that's doing there. So, but what is it? Well, that's a great question. A QPPS is a partner package solution, qualified partner package solution, and it's something that you can find. We're building up our content there, but you'll find on SAP. It includes the SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition. So you get core SAP ERP, and that includes a lot of the baseline scoping items. So you'll get your fundamental accounts receivable, AP, you'll get your GL, basic procurement, all of that. In addition, you have solution order management, which is a tool that allows you to create bundles. We've included subscription management or subscription billing is as well that tool that's in there and will enable you to create all sorts of subscriptions. And when I say subscriptions, I'm going to take a little detour. All sorts of consumption, subscription, outcome-based tools, whether it's tiered pricing, others, it's available. This basic package is focused on a basic subscription, but you'll get that. And of course, if you're doing subscriptions, if you're doing revenue over time, or you're doing bundles, you need revenue recognition. And in this case, we're leveraging SAP's event-based revenue recognition tool, app built right into SAP. So this is a bundle of stuff that you get. Included in that also is the technology platform that allows you to interconnect your external applications. And we're going to bring some of our own IP, including accelerators and some revenue reporting. We focused it, Jim, on the high-tech industry to start with. Having said that, it is highly adaptable. Just because we targeted it to software doesn't mean that it's not applicable to other high-tech areas, such as OEMs or semiconductors, anybody who's doing a subscription model. We are initially rolling it out in the US and the technology landscape. What we wanted to do is give our customers a choice. This is based on actually a package, Jim, that we ran and implemented with a customer called TELUS. They have an agriculture business, and together with a strategic partner of ours, we actually implemented this solution, and it's for a subsidiary. So you could use this as a hybrid platform, a two-level platform, allowing you to do that, or you can do it as a net new customer. We're using a similar construct to this with a customer. We're in the process of signing up that's going to do it in the Bay Area for a telco. So it is applicable to a telco as well. And the great thing is we've been able to implement this thing and tested it in 3 months or less.
Wow. So, you know, John, maybe you could give a little background on why Bramasol chose subscription management with integrated revenue recognition as kind of a first off for a package solution. I know there'll be more coming later, but
sure.
I guess the legacy of how you got to this one first.
You know, that's a great question, Jim. Thank you for that. You know, why did we choose this approach? Well, Bramasol's been certainly in business for 28 years, serving the mid-market, but we also found that when we focused our business on Office of CFO and became the leading expert in revenue recognition, a lot of our customers started asking us about, well, how can I get this in a package solution? We've been doing RevRec now since 2013, 2014. We have done over 100 different projects and combined that together with subscription billing in a public cloud platform. And so why did we go after this? Well, we have a lot of customers, but we have deep, deep expertise in helping customers and companies sort through the ideas of what do I need at a fundamental level to build a basic ERP that is powerful, scalable, and gives me the tools I need to build a subscription business.
Oh, great. Thank you. Can we take a look at the architecture itself?
Well, yeah, you know, the solution itself has been architected. This is a basic architecture diagram, but you know, it's going to talk to you a little bit about and show you there's three main, if you will, components to it. The first one is the S/4HANA Public Cloud. In there, you get the solution order piece of the business, allows you to create orders, whether they're sales items, meaning hardware elements, service items, and then subscriptions, right? So think of it as a bundle of I sell you a modem or a wireless device, you get some service that goes with that, and then there's a subscription over time for that service. You might be selling internet access or fiber optic access, or you might be selling you know, any kind of high-tech device that has a subscription to it, and those subscriptions could be all sorts. It doesn't have to be just in this space. Certainly in life sciences, lots of companies are adding subscriptions to their sale of medical devices. We include sales billing, which allows you to do subscription billings and allows you to combine customer invoices together. So many times our customers have had the experience of, I have 3 different elements in my invoice. How do I bring that all together, right? And then finally, finance, right? You still, it's great that you can create a subscription, but you got to be able to collect the money from the customer, work with the customer, and then do, of course, your revenue recognition. We integrate that, or on the far right, we have the subscription billing, which is the super powerful tool. We just did a great demo of that tool to a customer and showing them all sorts of different models and tools focused on how you can create a customer, create a billing plan, execute those billing plans, do all of the ratings and billing activity, and then that's integrated into your ERP as a package through the SAP Business Technology Platform or the integration suite. And there's 2,500 plus APIs available to you as a customer of SAP that allow you to integrate them. We have tools that we've brought together in a package, and this is the architecture. So
yeah, let's take a deeper dive.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, let's take a look at this. Is our infographic. We can provide this to you. Feel free, go on the website. What do you get here? First off, from a subscription-based scenarios perspective, you're getting all sorts of different scenarios, whether you want flat rate pricing, subscription, subscribe and save, you have usage-based, tier-based, bundles, etc. You're going to get a quick setup, cloud-based, so it allows you a lot of flexibility, and then fully integrated revenue recognition to your GL. So being able to do all of your ASC 606, if that's what you do, or your IFRS billings, but you can also really tie together not just the revenue recognition from a GL perspective, but costs. So how can I begin to look at profitability and analytics around driving that? And how do I drive instantaneous revenue recognition? And the benefit, of course, of that is accelerated period close. You don't have to wait till the end of the month to run RevRec. RevRec is being run on a regular basis, almost quite frankly, every 5 minutes or so. And so, it gives you all of that. What's included in this? Again, I mentioned you get all of the benefits of the public cloud. You get the baseline public cloud that gives you all of your core financials. You get event-based revenue recognition. You get our business technology platform, which includes the integration tools and all the tools you need to run this package. We're focused on 2 countries. I mentioned mostly US. Pretty easy to extend that into Canada. We'll do 2 to 3, a couple of company codes, focused heavily on US GAAP. We'll do data migration, but the key here is, and we'll talk about this, affordability. Jim, this isn't your typical SAP package where you're going to take a year to 2 years to implement. The implementation time frame, and we have demonstrated this at this client, is 3 months or less. You can get the fees, depending on what we do, in less than $400,000, and your annual cost, and this, by the way, for those of you who are, this is the retail cost, $195K per year. You probably can get some discounts and get that number down. You can, if you wanted, but it's under $200,000 a year. And it includes this is your first year subscriptions. So, I think it's a really great package. I think it disputes a lot of myths that we'll get into.
Yeah, John, a couple of things that I like to think about this QPPS is that it kind of declutters and focuses all the options that are available in SAP Public Cloud, especially. And for instance, like scoping items. I don't remember how many are in this, but I know that there's a ton of them to choose from. And so it can be daunting if you don't have the expertise of the team that put this together to figure out what should go into it to make a nice sleek package.
Yeah, And it's certainly very, and we'll talk about this, it's very scalable, and it's scalable very easily because of the power of SAP, right? We talk about implementing, two company codes or two countries and two, principles, but the benefit of SAP over others is a lot of the what you get when you even sign up for baseline, and we'll kind of talk about that.
Great. You want to switch and do some myth busting?
Yeah, let's have a little fun, because I think the QPPS itself is interesting, but I still think there's a lot of perceptions out there, right or wrong, and I think number one perception is, oh my God, this is complicated. SAP is so complicated. It's too difficult for me. I need something simple. It's too expensive. We all hear that. I think we've shown you in the QPPS a very powerful solution that you can have implemented for under 400K in 3 months, and that it takes too long. I don't know about you, Jim, but the idea of being able to be up and running in 13 weeks on one of the world's most powerful scalable ERPs doesn't seem like a long time.
Yeah, and the other thing is, when you're up and running, it's not a one-off. You are now in that environment where you can extend and expand, right?
That's absolutely right. And you can, many of our customers start with a finance first approach. So you could even scale this back to even more of a core solution that says, well, let me start with a minimum viable finance project. And that would get you in even, probably even faster, even cheaper. Certainly we're open to talking to you about that. But it's a great opportunity. And the myth of, the old stuff of, well, you know what, now I'm going to go have to hire an army of people to support this program. SAP's really made that, and Bramasol with SAP has made that pretty easy. Number one, the partner you choose to help you with your software and you buy the software, we aren't going away. We're going to be there to support you over the term of your contract with, support, advice, other things that you need to get. Number two, because it's a fully hosted solution, you get a powerful SAP support in the background around all of your platform. And they will, they host it, we manage it, all of the basic areas of that. And again, because it's a cloud solution, adding features, adding things to it is actually pretty easy. It's configuration based. And as you learn to use the tool, you'll find that a lot of what's in here is intended to be simple for you to add, right?
Yeah. So let's take a little deeper look behind each of the myths.
Sure. Why don't we start with the famous one that's too complicated for my business? Jim, you and I have been together for a long time now. I think it's going on 10 years. And we've seen the complications of some of the applications as we used to go through the early days of revenue recognition and treasury. What we have here is an application that's easy to use. It's set up so there are things called Fiori tiles. Everything is a tile that you launch from. It's easy to use. Your data is at your fingertips. You can see that, and we're happy to demo this. In fact, you can go online and see a demo of this at our website. Everything's tile-based, so it's very easy to launch. And the process, what I love is the process for buying this product is easy too. Not only do we have a package solution, but there's this concept of digital discovery. And it's an awesome way to work with us and work with SAP to walk through the process of, well, what do I want to turn on? What are the core processes? And it helps really align that in a very interactive way, and our customers have loved that. It's modular. You can turn things on and turn things off. It's easy to get what you need. It's all about configuration. There's not a lot of complicated items that are in there. There's a lot of it. It's pretty easy just to get it going. There's tons of tools out there for learning. You certainly can learn through the online tools that are provided through the learning hubs, but also SAP has Joule, which is a fantastic AI tool to help you learn more. And we hear about the concept of, it's not that feature, it's not complicated. No, it's not complicated, it's feature rich, but they've made it easy. And finally, public cloud is not flexible. There's the old, the babysitter, if you remember, Jim, back to when Vin Diesel said there's my way and there is no highway option.
Right.
That's not the case with SAP Public Cloud. We have what we call extensibilities. Can you change the core program? No. But you can use these tools like extensibilities, whether it's a simple extensibility, such as just changing the name of a field or something that you can go in and change, to in-app extensibilities and side-by-side extensibility. So there's a lot of flexibility about how you can move around while keeping your public cloud in a clean core.
Yeah, I really like what you just said about it being not complicated, but feature rich. Because when you think of so many ERPs that top out because they don't have the features you need, or they want to upsell you for those additional features, or have you buy third-party software. This essentially doesn't force features on you, but it has them when you need them.
It has them available. I mean, I'll take, for example, SAP comes with 56 countries in localization as of the last time I checked. All you have to do is turn most of them on for the core functionality. It's all you do. Are there some other things behind the ground, behind the scenes, in terms of, making sure that your invoices are printed in language? Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but again, it's all in there. You just turn it on. Other companies, other ERPs are going to charge you every time you try to add something. SAP, most of it's in there, right? I'm not saying that there aren't modules you have to pay for and add, but the vast majority of what people would need is in there.
Speaking about paying for it, let's take a look at the too expensive myth.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it in two contexts, Jim. The software itself. This SAP has a basic package. This has the basic package. It is very affordable. I mean, I'm talking about below $100,000 per year easily for the basic package. All you have to do is get 15 users, and SAP has a great way of setting up this idea of full user equivalence, so you can have the software at a reasonable cost. Again, I'll emphasize that idea of other ERPs out there from companies that have red or multicolored logos. They have hidden costs. Ask them, so when I buy the product and I only have 3 countries, I get this, but what if I have 6? Oh, well, each one of those is a little bit more expensive. Oh, what if I want to add another company code? Oh, well, now you're going to have to pay more. With SAP, that's not the case. A lot of these things are right in there and you get them. And that includes a lot of standard integrations. Integrations to third-party tools to SAP. And of course, the software becomes predictable because you're using this tool. We talk about the digital discovery assessment. You have complete visibility and control through this process, allowing you to look at the various scoping areas, scoping items. So what's a scoping area? It could be finance. A scoping item could be accounts, a payment run for accounts payable, right? You get complete control and visibility through that process. Helps you control costs. On the implementation side, well, we have our QPPS and partner package solutions. 3 months under 400K. Not something you hear a lot about in the SAP space at all for a premium product like this. Basic packages can be even less. And because SAP is modular, again, I'll tell you, a lot of companies are taking a finance first approach, adding integrations and then migrating other components in the future, whether it's subscriptions, manufacturing, inventory, but they take a finance first approach, build the MVP, and then take advantage of this modularity to add it on. And of course, because it's public cloud, because of all this, there aren't a lot of hidden costs of implementation. It's pretty upfront. You're not doing hundreds or thousands of what we call development items or RICEFs. Yes, there are extensibilities, but they're designed to keep your core clean, allow you to take advantage of what's there.
So let's talk about timing. It's hard to do anything these days in 90 days. So maybe you can talk a bit about that.
Let alone, if you think of SAP, let alone an SAP or an ERP project, right? In 90 days, well, it's true. We actually implemented that package in 90 days, full ERP with EBRR, with event-based revenue recognition and QPPS. So you can have core value in a very short period of time. Even more, the process itself, it takes a very short period of time to get a tenant up and running. From the day you sign your contract, it's a matter of a week or so. But when you have a system to play with and you can start going through the best practices. So you start that OCM process, that understanding and value early on. And of course, because it's up in 3 months or less, you get value quickly. You're able to reduce your auditing costs. You're eliminating a lot of the Excel templates and Excel tools that you're using. You really are going to see value quickly. And my friends from the industry groups, whether it's the high-tech IBU, the telco IBUs, IBU is the SAP industry groups, right? Or the life sciences have built these industry templates that get things running up and running even faster. So another way that you can accelerate your go-to-market, or if not really go-to-market, accelerate your scaling of your business.
So let's talk about the bonus in addition to these.
So everything comes with a little bit of bonus. Everybody wants something a little bit extra, so maybe we'll throw in some extra for you here. Two real things. Number one, one myth is, oh, it's SAP, I'm going to need a huge team to support. Again, I'll say not true. With SAP Grow in particular, the public cloud platform, SAP will manage the product, provides updates, and has a lot of support capability. As you go through this process, SAP is so committed. They provide a lot of support in both the sale process, but the implementation to ensure success. They provide tons and tons of support together with certifying partners like Bramasol to deliver this. And of course, with Grow, you get us, a partner. And that partner has to be certified. They work with you, and they're not just there to sell you the software. They have to be there over time to help make sure that you're able to get the value that we committed to during the sales cycle. Another one, I'm going to be a little sneaky here for folks. We know that SAP is asking people or moving people off of the old ECC platform. Many years ago, when I first joined Bramasol, we were having people migrate off of the R3 platforms and the older ones onto SAP ECC, A1 ECC. A lot of them went to third-party maintenance companies because they were told they were going to save a lot of money. And of course, in the traditional sense of saving money back in the day, yeah, sure, you might be saving something. Not sure you got the same level of value. But what you committed to was, I'm willing to stay on an old platform with old technology and sacrifice all of the value that I can have going forward. Well, now with an SAP platform that you can have for, $5,000 to $10,000 a month, which many people are paying these third-party maintenance companies for, you're not saving a dime. In fact, you're losing because you're not getting any of the innovations. You're not getting any of the tools that allow you to be more efficient and effective. And you're not getting all of the third-party things that you would, or the tools you would get. And by the way, all of the upgrades. So if you go and the reason you don't want to do, you want to do third-party maintenance, you don't want to upgrade. Well, guess what? In the public cloud environment, Jim, upgrades are free. it's part of what you get. Twice a year, SAP introduces new technology and new features, and that's part of what you get when you buy the product.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that every 6 months. And this is sort of like the old saying about cutting out the middleman.
You know what? That's a great point. You are kind of cutting out the middleman, and but you're also moving to a model that allows you to get innovation real time. And that innovation, has been vetted and tested, and you get an opportunity to do a whole bunch of regression testing and make sure that that fits you. But generally, if you keep a clean core, think about it. I'm getting new features, new functionality, improved software every 6 months for what I'm paying for the system.
Yeah, and if I may,
Yeah,
like we were talking about the other day with clean core, a lot of people think, oh, this is locking me in. I don't get to customize. And I know it's a topic for other webinars, but you coined that phrase of options and opportunities with the extensions in clean core. You essentially can make it do what you need it to do without corrupting the core, because that structure is so disciplined.
Yeah, I love what you said about the idea of options and opportunities. Clean core is not just the idea is not to force you into taking the software as it is. Extensibilities allow you to provide additional functionality, but keeping the core clean gives you those options and opportunities. Number one, options to use tools, options to upgrade easily, right? You have a lot more options available when you're not customizing everything. And the opportunity, you and I have been working on some AI activity and talking about AI, and it's the hot button of the day. But AI works best when you have a clean core. Some people would argue AI's power is its ability to sort through tons and tons of different information and sort it out. Yeah, to a certain extent, but AI in the forms of our old, robotic process automation, machine learning and whatnot works best when you have a clean core. So, again, it gives you that options and opportunities.
Yeah, great point. If you jump to the next slide, this is my favorite part. You're famous for asking, what's the big so what? You ask me all the time. You ask the rest of our team. So I get to ask you, what's the big so what?
Yeah, that's a great question. Turnabout is fair play there, Jim. I think the number one key takeaways or big so whats are number one, the world is moving to recurring revenue models. And they are happening not just in large businesses, but disruptors, companies like Waymo, who are disrupting not just the taxi and the Uber business, but visualize, autonomous vehicles doing a lot more. My kids go to or went to ASU, and they have little autonomous vehicles delivering food. It's really changing the way companies do business. Medical device companies, cement manufacturers, all of them are coming up with these recurring revenue models. I think there's an SAP solution there to meet anybody's needs, whether you're a $100 million business or a $100 billion business, there's an SAP solution. And in particular, because of the cloud, there's a lot more there for a lot more of you. And the real takeaway here, or the power, is the so what is based on interviewing customers, working with SAP, we've come up with what we think is a pretty compelling package. It provides you comprehensive functionality. It gives you a powerful subscription tool to scale, whether you do simple subscriptions all the way up to some of the most complicated. It gives you revenue recognition and core ERP functionality that you can scale. It's proven to work. This solution is not a solution we made up in a laboratory or in our development system and said, hey, surprise everybody, this is going to be neat. It actually works. It's out there working today. We're going to be implementing similar structures in the very near future. So it works. We've demonstrated it can be implemented in a short period of time, as little as 3 months. Again, it's public cloud-based, which means you get a lot of innovation and capability that is affordable and gives you a SaaS model to create an affordable budget. So Jim, I mean, the big takeaway here is, you know, SAP is serious about this. We're very serious about it. Our QPPS is designed to help companies who want the power, scalability, and flexibility of SAP at a price and timeline that works for them. So I'm really excited about it. I hope the audience is, and Jim, thank you.
Oh, certainly, thank you. You know, we did have one question about data migration, whether it was included, and the question kind of implied that the company might have very complex data needs. Can you maybe describe the basic package and then how it can get you up and running, and then what kind of subsequent expansion might occur?
That's a great question. Data migration and workshops around data migration are included as part of this package and process. Certainly, we would want to scale and look at data migration, you know, but it's intended to help companies, you know, who have fairly straightforward data with your old solutions. There are tools and things, tools, methodologies, and processes built to help migrate that data. One of the key considerations around migration is you have to look at it from two really basic areas. Number one is master data. How do you want to migrate the master data? Where does the master data sit? Who owns that? What system owns it? And how do you make sure that you're syncing it? So it's not just a migration issue, but rather a data management issue overall with that. Let's say you choose to use one of the other CRM tools. How do you sync that up with the subscription tool? How do you sync that up with SAP? There are standard APIs to do that, and part of that kind of migration is built in there. And then you have transactional. And certainly the transactional comes in two flavors. One is real-time transactional data that's happening today, and historical data. Many companies are required to keep historical data, particularly life sciences or others, for a period of time. So there is data migration included. And we're happy to talk with anyone about scaling that to meet your needs.
That's great. And as we wrap up, I'd just like to reinforce with everybody, if you have other questions or you want to reach out and get more information, you've got John's address. You're going to get a follow-up email with instructions on how to find and view the video of this webinar. But feel free to inundate John's inbox with your questions, and we'd love to talk more with you.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly, Jim, one thing that maybe we'll throw in one of our old techniques. I would love to hear from anybody on there who has a thought about what they liked that they heard. Maybe we'll pause for a few seconds if somebody wants to provide any comments in that space. Certainly, is there anything that you liked that you heard? Don't be shy. We won't hold you to it. All right. All right, no comments out there?
I think we've got them all.
I'll make a comment. So turkey time's coming up. Turkey or something else for dinner?
Sounds good.
Yeah, so everybody have a great time. Thank you so much for listening in. I've really enjoyed being here. Thank you all. And feel free to share your comments, thoughts, and follow up with us. Make it a great day.